All right, welcome to our final week in our series, Path to Wisdom. As we have been looking through the book of Proverbs, our hope is that you've discovered some helpful guides that can help you find the path of wisdom. Let me ask you a question as we start today. Have you ever come up on a closed road while you were driving? And you were in an area that you weren't familiar with? Like maybe it was on the interstate and you were traveling and the road was closed because of construction or an accident and something, and you had to figure out what to do. And just pretend, I know for some this may be a stretch in these days, but pretend that there was no navigation devices, that it wasn't some instrument wasn't rerouting your path. For me, growing up, and especially at college, there'd be a lot of times where I was traveling, and when I would ever hit on the interstate where the road was closed or the traffic went to a stop, I would find the nearest exit and take off. I was usually in an unfamiliar place, so I didn't know exactly what road to take, and I didn't know exactly which way to go. But what I would always do is go like, okay, if I'm heading north, I'm going to find the nearest road once I get off the exit that heads north. And when I found a gravel road that maybe turned into a dirt road, I would be like, well, I think this is going to be a shortcut, and I would have to decide which way, if I was going to make that risk or not. I was always wanting to make my journey quicker, so there would be times where I would negotiate, like, hey, maybe I can take this road, maybe it'll be okay, maybe the road won't end somewhere in the middle of a field. Also, there was times where I would find a car that looked in front of me that looked like they were trying to do the same thing I would, and especially if they were like an out-of-state car or license plate that did look like it was from local, I would follow them because I was hoping that they would know where they were going. It gave me a little more confidence. And if it all else fails, if we came upon a little town or came upon a place where there were people standing outside, reluctantly, usually I would stop and ask for directions. It was never more valuable than have a local tell you how to get back on path. Now, as we think about the path of wisdom, I wonder if we could use some of these same concepts as we discuss our topic today. Our topic today is the character to follow on the road of wisdom. So think about that, the character. What character traits do we need on the road to follow wisdom? See, Proverbs is full of helpful truths that we can use to reflect on where our lives are, and then helps us point our lives forward. But I think we need to just spend a couple minutes thinking about our character. What is the character we have that will help us follow on the road to wisdom? Now, I would like to suggest some ideas for us to discover as we grow in character to follow this road. In our lives, there will be many times that come up situations that did not turn out the way we thought they would, or maybe surprises. They maybe feel like, wow, this road that I thought I was on is now stopped. I can't go further. I have to get off and I have to figure out what to do next. What I would invite us to do in those moments is to understand how we can develop character so that we could trust and follow how to keep us on the path of wisdom, and how to navigate these situations in life that seem a little bit trying to maybe even seem a little impossible. There will be many moments in our lives where the unexpected happens, where it feels like everything was planned, and then all of a sudden, no, the traffic's not moving, the road is closed, and we have to take the exit, and we have to figure out, where do we go from here? Well, I want to leave you just with four things that I think have been helpful to me. Hopefully might be helpful to you. But again, go discover yourself. Proverbs is full of these. We can't possibly read them all. We're looking through Proverbs 25 to 31. There's so much in there. Please read that and reflect on it. But here are some of the things that stuck out to me as I was reading through this, and as I was thinking, like, how do we develop this character to follow the road of wisdom? First is true north. Find out our true north, identify our true north, who we want to be. And true north is like, who do we want to be? Like, always know where that is. See, sometimes when surprises happen, we may not know the next step, but if we know who we are and where we want to go, like me, you could take the first road going north. Like, I may not know exactly the path, but I can maybe, if I keep the main goal in front of me, I can maybe regain and reconnect with the road that I'm trying to be on. So Proverbs 29:18 says this: when people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyful. See, know who you want to be and what direction you want to go, and then pursue divine guidance. Divine guidance can be through reading the Bible, from prayer, from connecting with people. But are you asking for divine guidance when the road is closed in front of you, when you're looking for what is next, when you're trying to stay following on the road of wisdom? When the road is closed and you have to detour your path, do you seek divine guidance? Like when that surprise happens in your life, is that the first place you go, or is that the place you eventually get to? Divine guidance will help you know what general direction you're heading. It probably, again, won't give you turn by turn, decision by decision, but will help you stay going in the right direction, the direction true north of who you want to be and how you want to show up to others. An example is when you get hurt by an unexpected occurrence, when something happens, when you got hurt by a friend, by a family member, by some maybe crisis comes up, maybe some disappointment at work. Do you seek divine guidance on, okay, God, I know I'm supposed to be this type of person, but man, this has interrupted my way of getting there. What way might you have for me to go? See, knowing the true north and knowing your true north and asking for divine guidance will keep you from destructive behavior or a critical heart. Divine guidance, again, will never point you to sin as a coping mechanism. It will never say when surprises happen, go do this thing that is not helpful, not healthy, or not good for others. Number 2 that stuck out to me is be with the people that you trust to make you better. Proverbs 27:17 says this, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Many of us have heard that before. A character trait that matters when you're on the path of wisdom is to be with people, especially people that follow Jesus and make good choices, that live in the definition of wise people as found in Proverbs. We could find ourselves surrounded, if we're not careful, by a lot of people, but maybe they resemble more of what the Proverbs would call foolish people. Again, check Proverbs out, reflect on it yourself. We can build our character by bringing people around us that love Jesus and are willing to challenge us to live like him. Sort of like following someone when you're lost. But make sure you're doing your own inspection. Make sure they're not taking you to a place that's not helpful. Number 3, be humble enough to ask for advice. Proverbs 25:11 says this, timely advice is lovely like golden apples in a silver bucket. If we find ourselves lost, if we find ourselves in a moment where the road that we thought we were on is closed, I would encourage you to ask for help. I know traveling, this was a thing that hit me quite a bit. It was very humbling. I don't know why it was humbling. I don't know why it was such a big deal to ask for help or ask for directions, but it was so hard to pull over and say, hey, excuse me, can you help me? And I think maybe that's also in our lives. Maybe like when crisis happens or when things don't go as planned or when our roads get closed in our lives, I'm wondering if some of us don't have a humility problem of just going like, hey, I need help. See, building character traits that will help us stay on the road to follow wisdom. I think some of that is be willing to ask for help. Be humble enough to go like, hey, can you give some wisdom here? I need some support. I'm not sure what to do next. The last one that I want to just share with you is be careful of shortcuts that seem to be more fun or make our lives easier or more pleasurable. Proverbs 27:20 says this pretty directly, just as death and destruction are never satisfied, so human desire is never satisfied. See, last word of advice in building character on the path of wisdom is to be careful of the things, the opportunities that look like shortcuts. In our humanness, many times the things that look easy or pleasurable are from our own desires and almost always lead us off the path of wisdom and into the path of foolishness. Many are times we can rationalize just this once, just for this season. Next month, I'm going to change. But before we know it, we are lost even further, and we have ended up, instead of life going true north, we've actually gone directly south. I would encourage you, build warning signs in your life when you can notice when your decisions are being made by your desires instead of the wisdom of God. That road may look attractive. It may look like it's simpler. It may look like it's easier, but the wisdom of staying on the path of following the path of wisdom requires us to be careful, to analyze, to reflect. Well, as we continue on this journey in the path of wisdom, I invite you to step in, do your own research, discover just what the Bible, what Proverbs is saying about wisdom, and I invite you to follow it. Well, I hope you found some good in this series on the path to wisdom, and we look forward to connecting with you again next week as we get a new series.